This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
I would give that a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Taylor goes deep.
And I did absolutely no research on purpose.
Matty gets mouthy.
They never cease to amaze. I'm always thrilled.
Guests that money can't buy.
Is there a level beyond dickhead?
Zombies, because I don't want to be probed.
I like to buck the trend.
Starring Taylor Goodall.
Of course it's off the cuff, but that's what I do best.
And Matty Connor.
So at home, drink.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
For the Aussie Gridiron Network, this is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. It turns out it's Australia's premier NFL fantasy football show, and don't we know it, thanks to Million Podcasts, we've actually found ourselves on their top 100 fantasy football rankings for worldwide podcasts. And turns out we've worked our way not only onto that list, but from 95 and over the last couple of weeks up to 93 with your support. So thank you so much for your support. And the reason why you guys are listening is not just because of me, I'm Matty C, but it's because of my partner here, Australia's finest fantasy analyst. It's Taylor Goodall. Welcome back, mate.
Matty, 2 days ago we talked about tight ends and it made me absolutely sick. Those guys are a bunch of fat dicks. Thank you.
Did you rhyme dick with six?
No, I sick and dicks.
Sick and dicks.
Yeah, look, it works in my mind, mate. In my crazy rhyming mind, it works. So that's good enough. Let's go.
Wow, what a start. And mate, what a week it has been. We started with shite ends, and here we are on the mock draft show, and I'm keen. We haven't done a mock draft in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, good. And we've decided to have no tight ends in this draft. No, just joking, but that'd be great. Just after speaking for 100 hours about tight ends, we decided to boot the position completely. No, look, mate, in general, I just cannot wait to get into the 16-team mock, as I talked about on Friday, where we've generally done sort of 10-teamers and we've done a few 12-teamers last year. But, yeah, we wanted to branch out. You and I have obviously done Astro for a shitload of years, and it just brings a lot of different draft tactics and where you take the onesie positions and, you know, looking for depth at positions. And we obviously do a small bench so the waivers aren't so fucked. So, yeah, look, mate, I can't wait to get into this. Two well-distinguished, handsome, bearded gentlemen.
Oh, my gosh. They bring the beard game of this podcast up 7 million %. And, mate, you would have caught them on the Friday show from doing the tight end deep dive. And if you've managed to duck that, well, firstly, shame on you. But secondly, it involves only the crocodile hunter, the man himself, who, I don't know, from way up in the top end of Australia, he still finds... I don't know how he does it, but here he is at ridiculous o'clock on a weekend talking to us and about to do a podcast with us. It's Kev Patterson. Mate, welcome back for the Sunday show.
Matey, thank you. Mate, I'm always down to mock draft. Like, whenever I'm sitting waiting to be unloaded in the truck, mate, I usually just bang out a quick one. I also don't know if we spend enough time talking about tight ends.
I'm about to say, mate.
Ian's dead, by the way. Ian is just dead on that one. He just bang out a quick one, and he just dissolved.
Could be mock draft, could be something else. Like, it just depends how much privacy I've got, I think.
I was already there with the unloaded. I didn't even need the list, but
I once wrote a song called "Banging One Out on the Side of the Highway." So,
and that voice we all know is the host of Australia's premier NFL analysis show here on the AGN. It's Ian Tomlinson of G'day Gridiron, mate. Welcome back after banging one out on the side of a highway.
And that's you come to G'day Gridiron for quality analysis like that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a whole lot shinier and smoother here, mate. Yikes. It is the Sunday show. We have got these wonderful two guests. We put Kev through the ringer on the 5 questions on the Friday show. We also talked a bunch about leagues. We've got a listener league. If you want to take down Taylor, win some free stuff, go and hit Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. There is a link there called Beat Taylor, win free stuff. There's a few spaces left in that league if you want to take him on. But also, we are looking for people who want to play guillotine leagues, which is just try not to be the lowest scoring every week on week. And then every team that gets knocked out, their team hits the waiver wire and you've got a free agent budget to go and try and pick their players up. And also best ball, where you draft and then you don't set a lineup. Every week, the app will just pick up who is your optimal lineup. You know how you ever have those weeks where you go, gee, I wish I'd started this guy and not benched that guy. not a problem in a best ball league. It automatically detects who would have been your highest scoring lineup and puts that up there in head-to-head. So if you want to play in those kinds of leagues, and we have got spaces for you, reach out to us at Aussie NFL Fantasy at Instagram, and also to me at Matty Podcast or Taylor at Taylor41. We will hook you up. Fellas, we are here today to do a 16-team mock draft. Oh, my goodness me. And you said something the other day about cherries and 16-team mock drafts.
Yep, never done a 16-team league or even a mock draft before. So I am a 16-team virgin.
He has been in a bedroom of 16 men, though.
No, we weren't going to mention that, Taylor.
Oh, okay.
You said you were never going to talk about that again.
Yeah. Well, I certainly said I was never going to talk about that again. What a night.
Oh, what a night.
Kev,
yes,
you're
looking forward to it, only because you cut down the bench for me, Matty. Because I said I really didn't want to do a deep bench for a 16 team.
Imagine doing a 7 bench on this.
Kev, I would literally kill you.
Yeah, you would murder me. Kev, you've done a bunch of 16 teamers before. This one not so scary for you, even with a short bench?
No, mate. I did a 16-team IDP best ball draft that was 64 rounds or something this off-season, fresh dynasty. I like getting weird and taking deep dives on players too, so I like a big bench and a big league.
I like a big bench and a big league and getting weird too, mate. So, but this one, we've truncated the bench a little bit. This is very much in line with the league that Taylor and I play, which is the Astro League, where it's 16 teams, but it's got a very short bench to try and help promote trade talks and to try and keep something on the freaking waivers. We have got a good spread of where people are picking from in this draft. Ian's gone ahead and taken slot 4. I went ahead and took 8. And I've got a neighbour. I've got Kev there at pick 9 and Tay at pick 14. I've got a little feeling that might have something to do with where Taylor picks in the Astro League draft, maybe.
Yeah, you saw right through that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's not funny.
Look, I know it's probably silly because I've mocked from there a bit already because that's obviously my position in Astro, but I just thought I would go there. It was very different. It was probably more about where you guys picked first. I just thought it makes more sense in these drafts on the mock draft show to sort of spread yourselves out, be a bit different, just to see like what is, because if someone's out there in a 16-team league, they probably want to hear what someone going from 4 or 8 and then someone late is going to look at on the second, third round, stuff like that as well. So I just thought I would go sort of far away from you guys just to see how it looks different, how the teams look different when you're not drafting anywhere near each other.
Well, I had a very technical way of picking my spot. I just put 1 to 16 in a random number generator and it gave me 9. So, but, I did like 30 16-team mock drafts in 2 days when I set up that best ball league. So I find it easy. Just throw it in a number generator and pick from there.
Should have flipped the coin or asked your mum.
Well, I asked Mum, mate, she'd still be doing analysis now of where's the best spot to draft.
And you'd be getting a whole bunch of stuff from Timo at the same time. And how did you pick spot 4?
I got in there and I pointed at a number.
There you go. I just took pick 8 next to Kev because I thought it'd be interesting if we snipe each other a little bit. That's the honest truth.
Yeah, I wanted to go early, but not too early. So it was sort of
Ian's just a man of great technical thinking. I just pushed a button.
That's every bit of my draft strategies, Kev. Every bit.
Love it. That's the ADHD way of doing it too. It's just being like, I just pressed a button. It was shining and I just pressed it.
Ooh, shiny thing.
All right, so first pick up. Oh, no surprise, Jamar Chase. Then CeeDee Lamb and Saquon Barkley. Ian, you are on the clock now. At 16 teams, it means you are not coming back for a while, which can make this pick a little higher pressure than usual. What are you thinking?
Just trying to figure out which strategy to go for early on. And I think I might try a bit of wide receiver today and see what happens when I get back at pick 2.13, because that is a long time. So Justin Jefferson.
The 29th pick is your next choice, mate. So it's a little way off, but Justin Jefferson's the pick, and then Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra are the next ones off the board. Mate, you could definitely do worse than taking Justin Jefferson, mate. I don't know. I feel like you'd feel pretty happy about that.
Definitely feel happy about that, mate. But yeah, I don't know. 29th pick is going to be a tough one when it gets back around. I don't feel like I've been reamed by that point. I can tell.
It'll definitely be an interesting situation for you as the first time around doing this as well. We're at this weird situation too. We've got 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers gone. And it sort of pushes me to go, okay, so which of my number 4s do I like the most? Is it Derrick Henry or is it Nico Collins? I'm going to try the receiver thing too, and I'm going to take Nico and see what comes back, which now puts BK Pato, our mate, the Croc Hunter, on the clock at number 9.
Yeah, look, I kind of decided at the start of this I was going to fade both onesie positions, which isn't something I normally do in a 16-team league at tight end. But basically here I'm looking at my running back 3 and my wide receiver 4 both on the board. I'm going to go ahead and take the guy I've got ranked at 4 and take Drake London.
So Drake London goes, and then Derrick Henry, Malik Neighbours, Ashton Jan Teabag, and Brian Thomas all go off the board. Tay, you sound very proud I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, I was hoping you were going in that direction. You did not disappoint. That was very, very nice. It's an interesting one here. It's weird how the apps worked here, right? And if you actually look at the top 2 on top of the list, their ADPs are super different. Like, it makes me wonder how, I'll just say Puka Nakua's at top. I kind of had a feeling I would take CMC because I'm super high on CMC this year. Like, I'm not so much worried. I don't play fantasy scared. Like, if he gets injured, he gets injured. I'm trying to take a shot at a guy that running back 1 on the season, and I just really, really like CMC this year where he's going. I don't know. I find that so hard not to take Puka Nakua, though. Like, that value is ridiculous. Like, we're talking about a guy, it's getting taken between 7 and 8 in every draft, and he's somehow got to 14. I'm going to go ahead and take him because I just think the value, like, I just don't think you should ever go into a draft assuming you're going to go running back or whatever. You just let the draft come to you, and I just think that was perfect to take Nakua there because he fell to me when he probably shouldn't.
That's the 9th wide receiver, and then the round finishes with Brock Bowers and Christian McCaffrey. Wow, what a piece of value to get what a lot of people consider to be their 4th wide receiver, and you're getting him at wide receiver 9 at the end of the first round in a 16-teamer. On the way back, Devon Achane and AJ Brown go before you're back up, Tay.
Yeah, I'm having a look. I sometimes like to split. If I'm going near a turn in a 16 league, I often like to sort of hero both of those positions and just lock down, you know, someone who I believe is sort of like at least a top 10 in each of those positions. Because sometimes, like, I feel like I go in with 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and then I really just don't like the next 2 that are getting to me, and I'm basically starting a guy that I think is like a running back 20 or something like that. So I think I've got, like, when I'm looking at the positions too, I think I like the running backs better anyway for the value. I'm just going to go off my own rankings here. He's definitely not the highest on the list, but I'm going to take Chase Brown.
Well, we also just got some news too that Zach Moss has been cut, so that kind of gives maybe Chase Brown a little bit more impetus.
Yeah.
Chase Brown was my RB5, and I really thought he was going to get back to me here, and Tate's just kind of...
You want to take him at running back 8?
Because I did not expect that Trey McBride would make it back to me and stare me in the face, but I did say I was going to fade the onesie positions this draft, and I'll stay true to that. And I'm going to go ahead and take my wide receiver 10, who is the highest-ranked wide receiver on my board, and grab Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, and you said you've got a lot of Drake London and Garrett Wilson in your drafts, and here you are taking them as your first 2 picks in the 16-teamer and going hard on the pass catches, feeling pretty well like you can get a bit of value out of those mid-range running backs.
Yeah, there's definitely a few guys that I like, Matty. My rankings are a bit different to yours and Taylor's and consensus. I think there is a lot of value in a lot of guys this year, and a lot of teams where you just don't know who's going to be the workhorse in the end, really, either.
Yeah. This round so far since Taylor's pick, Chase Brown, there's Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson go back-to-back at picks 4 and 5 in the round before Bucky Irving and Ladd McConkey. That's where we see Kev take Garrett Wilson. I'm a lot like Tay. Unless somebody is really screaming at me that they're extraordinarily good value, I'm pretty happy to split the two positions in a league this deep. And I'm just going to go ahead and take who I consider to be the next best running back available. There's been about 12 go off the board at this stage now too. And I've got Josh Jacobs as my running back 10. So to me, that represents value. Jonathan Taylor, Jackson Smith, Njigba, and Trey McBride all go on the way to Ian. Mate, you've got Justin Jefferson in your pocket. What's your next move?
You know what? Just similar thinking to Tay, and sort of just I'm near a turn. Do the two hero guys. I got Jefferson. I'm thinking like we spent a fair amount of time on Friday talking about a onesie position, and it would be remiss of me to not try and take one of those right now because Bowers and McBride are already both off the board. So I've got that third tight end sitting there right there for me right now, and I'm kind of near a turn. So I like my luck coming back with some of the others. So I'm going to take George Kittle right now.
I mean, it is the game, too, that there were going to be 6 picks before you came back, so there's no guarantee you would have been there. So Kyron Williams, Tyreek Hill, and Terry McLaurin go to end the second round. On the way back, Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels are the immediate first 2 picks. So we've seen quarterbacks go back-to-back in the second round and then back-to-back in the third round. Then T. Higgins before you're back up again, Ian.
Yeah, back up. So sometimes in some of these drafts, when I go in the bigger ones, like 12-teamers, because like I said, I hadn't done a 16 before, if it gets to this point where there's been equal kind of runs on wide receivers and running backs, if I've taken one, I usually try and take the other so I can at least get one decent one, something I'm happy with.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty happy with the running backs that are sitting here right now. I said on Friday, I don't trust the Jets to do shit, so I'm not going to take Breece Hall. I do trust James Cook to have a stonker of a year this year because that man is already angry about not getting a contract extension. And I don't, even if he gets it, I think he's still going to be angry about how the season starts, and he's going to play angry. And an angry Captain James Cook on a Buffalo team in the middle of winter in Buffalo is going to be amazing. So James Cook it is.
Yeah, I thought you were going to keep talking and get auto-drafted Breece Hall then.
He was doing his best, wasn't he? He was running
watching the clock and timing it to perfection.
What Matty's going to do here.
Watching the clock.
He was doing it.
Matty doesn't take the first guy on the board here. I will be disappointed in Matty. I tell you that right now.
Both Breece Hall and Marvin Harrison and Joe Burrow, who I've loved to take in drafts. This will be the first mock draft we've recorded where I haven't taken Joe Burrow. Guys, do I need to say who I'm taking?
You better take him.
Yeah,
it's
only Mike Evans.
It's only Mike Evans.
He finally got to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first time he's actually made it to me. So there we go. I've got Nico Collins, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans. Hey, Kev's up, and he's got Drake Glenn and Garrett Wilson and a whole world of possibilities in front of him as well. Where are you looking, mate?
Mate, there's 3 names sticking out to me like a sore thumb. Devontae Adams, I think, leads the Rams in touchdowns, and I have them being a very good offense. My thing is, this is a PPR, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a full PPR.
Yep, righto. That kind of splits my decision with the running backs here. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara. I think he breaks 1,000 yards rushing, and I think whoever the QB is looks to him an absolute fuck ton this year. I've got no idea why my reception went from 3 bars to 1.
Just lucky, mate. Just lucky. Rashee Rice goes next because auto draft sort of hasn't kept up with everything that's happening with him. I don't think that he'll represent that value. Joe Mixon, who's also been hurt this week. But then Chuba Hubbard and DK Metcalf go before Tay. You're up, mate. You've got Puka Nacua and Chase Brown, 2 guys I know you love. What's your next?
Tay.
There's 2 guys I love here, and they're in both in 2 different positions. It's like actually trying to figure out which one I think makes more sense in a 16-team league. I think I am going to go running back. I just think in general, shoring that up in a 16-team league often, it definitely can't hurt because obviously it's just the position of scarcity sometimes does hurt. So I want to go Ken Walker. I've talked him up a million times.
Well, We reckon he might be end of a tier as well, because then Omarion Hampton goes, and we're just kind of not sure what that's going to shake out like, and Sam Laporta will end the round. On the way back, though, Zay Flowers goes before Devontae Adams, which to me is a bit crazy. And then, Tay, you're up again.
Oh, no, I lost Zay Flowers. How disappointing is that?
Terrible.
That's not who I thought you'd be disappointed about.
I'm sure it's a computer that's not you straight in front of you that you're disappointed about.
I'm the complete opposite of disappointed. The other guy I was looking at got to me, so I'm taking DJ Moore.
I honestly thought you'd be backing your bold take from this week, mate, and going on Devontae Adams.
I find it hard when I've got Puka Nakua already.
That's the only reason why that would have been a curse instead of a blessing.
Yeah, it's hard to take both. I know. Yeah. Be wrong. If there's an offense, you probably could take both of them. I'm sure it would actually work out. But yeah, in these mocks and just when I'm sort of setting my team up, I just can't take both the wide receivers. So it sort of took Devontae off the board for me.
Can be tricky. So this round you had Flowers and Adams, and now Taylor took more, and then Cortland Sutton, Jameson Williams, and Devontae Smith. That is 6 receivers in a row to open the round before James Conner is the next running back to go, right in front of Kev. Kev, your team is London, Wilson, and Kamara. Sounds like a great law firm. Where are you going next?
Yeah, mate, I wasn't as disappointed as you would have been that Connor went, but I'm a little bit torn here. I really like RJ Harvey as a PPR running back, but I really can't go past the guy that I've talked up a lot, and I'm going to take Ted McMillan in my flex spot here.
Yeah, and look, he goes a little bit further down. You have to sort of look a little further down the list to get him, but we are all of the opinion across the network, almost the entire network, that Ted McMillan is just still criminally underrated. A terrific prospect. I'm in a position where I'm going to do something a little uncommon because I want to see how my team looks. I'm not somebody who tends to do this very often, but because I don't really like the look of running back at the moment. I feel like it will give me better value when I come back the other direction. But I'm going to go and take my tight end.
Oh, I thought you were going to stack that bitch up.
No, I'm going to go and take my tight end because I think there's an opportunity for more consideration later on. But I'm just going to go and take Hawkinson because I am one of those guys who's got him at 4 and a bit of a believer. And I think that the board will look nicer for me the next time around. But he was clearly the best player available to me in my mind there. And it's just something I wouldn't usually do. Xavier Worthy goes next, then David Montgomery and Patrick Mahomes right in front of Ian. Ian, your team is Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, and James Cook. One of 3 different positions. Where do you go now?
I think I'm looking wide receiver again, and I'm just sort of I want to get one of these guys that are sort of mid-range before they really come off the board because I don't think a few of them will get back to me given the runs that are on the board. Does anyone really believe that Travis Hunter is going to play more offense than defense? So I can't get on board with the Travis Hunter train. I don't think Addison will play much to start with. So I'm going to take George Pickens, I think.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I was a little bit worried because I was really I could see the amount of QBs coming off the board. I'm getting a little bit worried about it.
Yeah, so 6 gone.
Yeah.
Pick by the guy before you.
Well, so then Travion Henderson and Aaron Jones are the next 2 picks. Running back, Olave wraps out the round. Travis Hunter, I think it's bold to take him in the 4th round. In the 5th round, I think once you've got 4 really solid picks, you can start having a few more swings, I think, in a 16-team league. But, I like to make sure my first 4 picks are solid. And Travis Hunter probably doesn't represent that for me. But then Jerry Jeudy goes next and Quinshon Judkins. So a couple of Browns back-to-back. It puts Ian back on the clock now. You finally got 2 at a similar position. You got 2 wide receivers, Justin Jefferson and George Pickens, and then George Kittle and James Cook. Where do the eyes go?
I was looking at QB because I don't like the run, and there's a few QBs here in this range that I really like, and it should come as absolutely no surprise that I absolutely love Baker Mayfield, and he's sitting here, and I'm too worried that one of these CPU picks is going to end up pinching him off me down the stretch here because, again, I've got a ton of picks between me and my next one. So I think I'm just going to take Baker and let everyone else move on.
Do you think it's also a consideration, Tay, that because of the long turnaround, it is well worth just jumping a little ahead to get the guy you want?
Oh, 100%. That is honestly what these 16-team leagues are. Even just then, like, I just decided to go with my own rankings of Chase Brown because I knew that everyone around that range is getting to me anyway. So like, that's where it's just like throw out ADP and just go with the guys you like. That's really all you got to do, especially on those long waits, because there's not really a game you can play. There's no ADP game. There's no like when you've got like 4 guys behind you or something, or 4 picks behind you, you can play little games like that. In this situation, 10 leagues, you can't do it. So just the guys you like. Matty says it best. If you're going to lose, go down with guys that you hire.
I can basically guarantee that Chase Brown wasn't getting back to you anyway. He was first up on my queue for next pick. So
100%.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, you've got to sometimes just go and get the guy you want. I'm going to do that. There's not really anyone to me who's more compelling right now at a position that I feel like I would really love to see a little bit upside out of. I'm going to go and take DeAndre Swift, who is he's my second running back behind Josh Jacobs. I've also got Mike Evans, Nico Collins, and TJ Hawkinson in my side. Puts Kev on the board. Your 3-pack of wide receivers is looking solid with London, Wilson, and McMillan. You've got Alvin Kamara. And what are you doing now?
And I'm tempted to take another one because I absolutely love Rome Odunze for breakout this year. However, there's a running back on the board that is sticking out to me like a sore thumb. Caleb Johnson from Pittsburgh, I think he will be the most consistent fantasy performer in that Steelers offense and the only Pittsburgh Steeler I will draft this year. His workload at Iowa was phenomenal. I think he's just going to absolutely eat in an Arthur Smith offense and massively outperform his ADP.
And he taken him in the 5th round as your second running back and sounded like you're really confident in the pick, which I just love. Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, and Rome Odunze are the next few to go. Big run of wide receivers there before Tay is back on the clock. Your side, Tay is Puka Nacua, Chase Brown, Ken Walker, and then DJ Moore. What are you doing?
Yeah, we're getting to some real turd water at the running back position. It's only going to get worse.
It's ugly.
It's very murky. Very murky.
Super murky. I'm obviously on a bit of a short turn here, so I'm going to leave those guys. I'm going to take someone that I have taken in literally every single mock draft. Matty obviously knows who I'm taking.
I know.
You literally brought him up for the last time saying everywhere. I just love him. He's the wide receiver one of the team, and I just think I actually think he just gets criminally underrated every single year. So
Jacob Myers, and that's correct. He does get criminally underrated every year. He always outperforms his ADP. Nothing more sure than that. Death and taxes. Calvin Ridley and Tyron Tracy wrap out the round. On the way back, though, Deebo Samuel goes and then Tony Pollard before we see Tay back up again. And you've got this weird imbalance now where you've got a couple of wide receivers and 3 wide receivers and a couple of running backs. Was there anyone on the board who you were hoping would come back to you?
It wasn't so much a hope. Like, honestly, I do have one that I've got a bit higher than the others that I probably will take, but it wasn't so much that if that guy went, I'd be absolutely fucking devastated. Like, it's just a range. We call it a dead zone sort of for a reason. There's guys you kind of like more than others, but just no one that I'm like super desperate to sort of have on my roster. Honestly, it's funny that Shakir's still there again because I've talked to you about a bunch of my mocks that I've taken here. I'm not going to do it with this build because I really do think I need a running back here. I just need that stability and I need a third guy before it really fucking goes off the rails. So I'm just going to take Brian Robinson and take what I think is the running back one for what I think is going to be a very good offense.
Yeah.
Robinson was one I was hoping might make it back to me. He's I'm like Taylor, I've ranked in the mid to low 20s sort of thing.
I think Diggs and Shakir go, Nix, and then Jonnu Smith. So now the world's your oyster, Kev.
Yeah, mate. Matty, you and I spoke about this guy. He was my hot take to bounce
you're going to take him.
That's Travis Etienne.
Tell me why you want to take him in front of me, not just because it's taking a Jag in front of a Jags fan, but sing the song about Etienne.
Well, mate, he is the highest ranked player on my board. He's a guy I love when he came out in the draft. I think he had a bit of a rough run last year, and I expect that to really turn around this year and him to have a bounce back year. I have him a lot higher than where he's going, like over around 17 or 18, I think, in my rankings. So I'm quite happy to take him there.
Yeah, there's absolutely no issues with me in the same range. I've got him at like 21 because I'm the same. So I'm a little upset that he's going in front of me. But
you decided to draft next to me, so it's your fault.
Yeah, this is the thing. There may be a little bit of sniping, and that was kind of the fun of it. Is put myself in a spot where hopefully there'd be a bit of interesting conversation between you and I about who's taken who when. The running backs here are then difficult for me. So and it's probably the position I would look to lean. I've got a couple of wide receivers, a couple of running backs. I've got my tight end sold. So I'm just going to dive back into the running back well. And what I like about this in 16-team leagues, Tay, you and I, we say this often, your second wide receiver is the easiest to get. Well, my second wide receiver is Mike Evans. So now I'm in this wonderful position where I'm looking at a flex and I can look at probably upside because unless there's a buy, I'm just not going to be starting this person as a serious wide receiver too. So I can kind of play a little bit with what I think is their value. Jaden Reed, yeah, he's given me a lot of grief over time, and he commands target share. He's one of these guys who can drop you a 20-point week at any time, and that's kind of, I don't mind having that as my third guy. All right, so then Jalen Warren, Cooper Kupp, and Juwan Jennings, lots of J's in there. Before we see Ian back on the clock after taking Baker Mayfield, where are you looking now?
Yeah, look, I really need that second running back, but we are in just a shit soup. Pretty much.
Tough spot.
So I am in a tough spot.
Trade with Team 3, they got 4 of them.
So I think I'm still going to take one. I kind of like Najee at the Chargers. And I know he's on pup to start with, so there's that. The next one. Hey?
The old Cyclops.
The old Cyclops, exactly. He may come back better, He could come back like an X-Man or something. I really like Cam Scatterbo. I was pretty high on him when we were doing some rookie drafts. So I think I'm going to take Cam Scatterbo. He'll get a fair bit going on early. Well, that would be my hope anyway. So second RB, pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and nobody knows what the split between he and Ty Trace is going to be at this stage. Mark Andrews, Tyler Warren, and David Njoku in a 3-pack of tight ends to finish the 6th round. Before Najee does go, and then Javonte Williams, 2 faces in new places. Jared Goff goes to Team 3. And then we're back with Ian, whose last pick was Scatterbo to support James Cook, and then has Jefferson and Pickens as the wide receivers, Kittle and Mayfield in the onesies.
I'm pretty happy with what came back to me here, actually, because now I can start picking up flex spots. And I think Matthew Golden is going to end up being out and out wide receiver 1 at the Packers this year, and he's sitting right there. So I think it's the smart pick. Just go Golden.
Yeah, and the ball's got to go somewhere there. We expect that the passing game should probably pick up a little from last year from where maybe the running game over-indexed a little bit. Josh Downs and Evan Engram go next before Brandon Ayuk, who goes at 7th pick in the 7th round. And this is the thing, we're in the 7th round now, and so practically all the starting positions in most people's teams are starting to fill up. Certainly we've seen a lot of quarterbacks and tight ends go as well. So there is a lot of teams who are fishing in this in this wide receiver and running back range now. And, mate, I have been high on this guy in every dynasty I've taken. And again, I'm looking at guys who I think can return a lot of value for me. I really like Jaden Higgins, and I'm going to dive in a little earlier to get him because he may not get back to me in the next round, but I think he's more valuable to me than any other position. And I just think that offense has to go somewhere, and it can't all go to Nico. So I'm just going to go and grab Jaden Higgins now and insulate myself there. You got Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Ted McMillan, Alvin Kamara, Caleb Johnson, and Travis Etienne for Kev. Where are you headed, mate?
Mate, I actually had 2 rookie wide receivers at the top of my queue, and you took one of them.
Yeah.
I'm going with Emeka Ibuka from Tampa Bay. I think he's going to be the number 2 target earner very quickly, very early on with Godwin out. I think he's a really polished product, and he's going to put up a lot of fantasy points for his ADP. So I don't mind because I'm waiting on the onesie positions, just filling up my bench with guys I like. I did actually have Jaden Higgins first on my board, but you took him, so you've sniped me back. So Ibuka it is.
Yeah, and there is a little bit of risk in taking two wide receivers on the same offense for me, but I prefer him to Igbuka, and there was really nothing at running back that was ringing my bell. Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, and Justin Herbert all go. Ricky Pearsall is next, and then we see Taylor on the board, your teammate. Nakua, DJ Moore, and Jacoby Myers as your wide receivers. Chase Brown, Ken Walker, and Brian Robinson as your running backs.
No, Mooney!
I think everyone should pick that.
I heard he got carted off or whatever the fuck he had. Who cares?
Yeah, you had a hangnail, I think. He'll be fine.
I had someone I liked just as much, but I was playing a bit of a game. I felt like Mooney being next on the ADP list was a better chance of being taken. I obviously love J.K. Dobbins. I think his situation at Denver's awesome this year. I heard Kev at the start sort of talk about how he likes Harvey. I kind of like both. Like, I actually think they both can coexist. I think Dobbins takes like the first carry, but I think Harvey's going to sort of interject. I think that offensive line is just going to carry that team this year, and I think their defense is awesome. So I just think that means they're going to be able to run the ball a fuck ton. So, yeah, I just love Dobbins and his value.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love them both, especially Dobbins where he's going in drafts too. Even if it's creeping up, he's still going to be a value. Righto, I'm on the board. I'm going to address the first one of my onesie positions. Now, I have my highest rated tight end is Jake Ferguson at tight end 8 for me. But I have my QB 6 on the board, and I'm going to take Justin Fields.
Yep.
Stack that bitch up with Garrett Wilson.
This is the sort of time, too, where because most teams have a quarterback now, it's either there's still a guy you love there or you might as well wait. And I like that. After Jordan Love's gone, you're just like, right, I'm all in on Fields. We think he's somebody who has the upside to finish in the top 5 as well, considering where you're drafting him. He's about the 13th quarterback off the board. It's a really great pick.
And the thing is, too, the computer's more likely to take a early second tight end quarterback than most people will be. So you've kind of got to adjust to that when you're doing mocks as well. Like, I don't think he would have come back to me.
100%. Absolutely a worthwhile consideration too, especially in this deep of a draft. Now, for me, I've got a running back. I've got my running backs in Josh Jacobs and DeAndre Swift. I've got a whole bunch of receivers and a tight end. So for me, it's either more running backs or a quarterback at this stage. And the quarterbacks around, they're all right, but there's so few teams who need one quarterback. And I feel like the likelihood of a lot of those guys going before I come back around is not super high. The running backs here, I think the most likely guy to pick up any sort of work as a volume play for himself is Zach Charbonnet, which does put me at odds with Taylor, with Ken Walker, but Walker has had a tough time staying healthy as well, so I guess I'm insulating myself against Taylor's number 2 running back there. But he does have a role of his own as well, and I'm pretty happy with him as a third in the league this deep. Tucker Kraft, CJ Stroud, and Tajay Spears go next before Ian's on.
Ian is on to figure out which one of these useless dudes is going to be on his team. No one's catching anything at Buffalo other than a cold. I'm really, really conflicted as to what I go here. Do I just go another tight end in a pass-catching guy? Trey Harris, no. Rashid Shaheed, I don't think so. It's the Saints.
I like Trey Harris. I've been singing his song all podcast season so far, buddy.
Bugger. Fergie Ferg. Jake Ferguson. Going to steal him from Kev.
Taylor, have you checked on Kieran? Because I just saw that Zach Moss got released by the Bengals, so that kind of screws up his whole Moss will be the king.
Yeah, that car he talked about is going to keep getting Moss on it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The Rolling Stone now there's no Moss.
Yeah.
I actually had Moss below the rookie they drafted, and obviously they do too. Now that Charles Brooks is probably the number 2.
Probably true. Trey Harris, Kyle Pitts, and Rashad White go to finish the round. Dallas Goedert, Keon Coleman, and Rashid Shaheed go to start this now, the 9th round. Where are you looking now, Ian? You've got 2 tight ends. You've got Kill and Fergie Ferg, so you'd be feeling good about that. But you only got 2 running backs at this point. Is there anyone who's ringing your bell?
So, Matty, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet, and it's going to be Jaden Body Blue.
Ooh. Ooh.
Going to take on 100 linebackers in one day.
Mate, avoiding the blue balls jokes.
He's a cowboy, so it would be fitting.
Yeah. Avoiding the blue balls jokes, which I do appreciate as well. Marvin Mims and then Christian Kirk in a new place at Houston go. And then Drake May goes right before Matty C, which doesn't bother me too much. I'm in this sort of realm now where the quarterbacks don't look disgraceful. You know what I would like to do, though, is have a little bit of a punt on JJ McCarthy. I do feel like he is likely to, he may have a little bit of a rough start. That's okay. I feel like my wide receiver's in a good spot to help carry me in the early part of the season. I'm going to take McCarthy and see how that one rolls out. It puts Kev on the clock now. Mate, you're still looking for a tight end, and then whatever else you want to fill your bench with, because you've got Justin Fields as your quarterback.
Yeah, mate. I didn't think I'd take McCarthy. Like, I love pairing Fields and McCarthy in a lot of drafts, just a safe floor on McCarthy and the upside of Fields. Like, I've both ranked in the top 12. But here, you've got to consider who you're drafting with as well. And Taylor and I both don't have a tight end. Taylor doesn't have a onesie position. I'm going to stack that bitch up with Justin Fields one more time and take Mason Taylor.
Isaiah Likely goes immediately after, and then Bashal Tutin, who's the Jags running back, Luther Burden, and then take Bigsby, go right in front of Tay. I know you'll be sad you didn't get a slice of either of those Jags running backs, mate, but what are you going to do?
I'm also going to sack that bitch up.
Cannot argue with that. Matty Stafford, John Matthew Stafford goes next to expose Taylor to a bit of PTSD from a game we played about 3 years ago with quarterbacks whose names are John Williams from the New England Patriots, Kyle Williams, who's the wide receiver, and then Isaac Gurendo for the San Francisco 49ers wraps out the round. Now we get Austin Eckler and Rashad Bateman on the way back. Tay, you still have onesie position to go, and then your favourite bench filler.
Yeah, I'll probably just take it now. I've sort of got the two guys at the top I'm kind of flying with. I liked a lot of people's points on Hunter Henry, honestly. I like Zach Ertz as a bit of a late flyer as well. I think even though technically my rankings is the other way around, even though they're super close, I'm going to go Hunter Henry. You guys made good points. I think Drake May takes a step forward. I know we've sort of talked down the whole quarterback tight end thing, that this quarterback has to be amazing, but I don't know. I just think if that Patriots team takes any kind of step forward from last year, Hunter Henry's always used in the red zone. I just think as a late round flyer, I think Hunter Henry fits the bill.
How about that? Rico Daddle, Jake Beck, and then Zach Ertz and Trey Benson go right before Kev. Mate, you are now at the spot where you're just picking the players that you like the most, because you've got your onesies and you've got a nice bit of depth at your wide receiver and running backs. Where do you go?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to stack that bitch up one more time. I've got Bijan as my RB1 overall and Drake London as my wide receiver 4 overall. And their quarterback, who I thought looked really good at the end of last season and would look quite nice sitting on my bench for those bye weeks, is just sitting there. I'm going to take Michael Penix.
Yeah, and this is the thing, I guess, with 4 bench, like only having 4 players on your bench you aren't in your starting lineup for a league this deep is, well, what do you do to just make sure that you got coverage? Because, the waiver wire after this is going to be an absolute disaster, right? So to know that you've got the sauce to your steak right there with Drake London as your number 1 overall pick and then Michael Penix makes a whole ton of sense. I'm also in a position too where now I've got both my onesie positions and I'm pretty well just going after the player who I think is the best available. And to me, I think the best available at this stage is going to be Nick Chubb, just because there's a bit of a void of volume happening in Houston at the moment while we work out what happens with Joe Mixon. He may miss a little bit of time. He may not, but either way, Chubb, nice goal line option. Jalen McMillan goes, and then Cam Ward and Ray Davis right in front of Ian. You have got 2 tight ends, you've got your quarterback, and then you look depth hunting. What are you looking for?
I was looking for Nick Chubb, actually, because I saw him sitting there on the board. So you definitely sniped him from me there, because I couldn't believe he's still there. Obviously, yeah, Joe Mixon's going to be out for the majority of preseason. Then they're going to reevaluate him. So he's looking likely to be out into the start of the season. So Nick Chubb was really going to come on strong there, I think. And I made a bold take as well that I wanted to stand behind, that he was going to score the most rushing touchdowns for the Houston Texans this season. So I would have taken him there. Other than that, you know what? I'm going to take one of my very first favourite Vikings players when I became a Vikings fan, and that is Adam More Than a Thielen.
Oh, how nice. He's clearly just the most experienced wide receiver in that Carolina Panthers room before Hollywood Brown and Dylan Sampson and then Ced Tillman. Another pair of Browns to wrap it around. On our way back for the final round, because we are not picking kickers and defenses, is Trevor Lawrence and then Wan'Dale Robinson, who was maybe a little underrated because he did have the most catches of any Giant last year. Of course, Malik Neighbors missed some time, but just interesting to see. Tyler Algier goes to, strangely, the Barkley owner, and then we see Ian on the clock. Last pick, mate. What do you do?
Well, I hadn't had a stack yet, Matty, and I was thinking I was going to get through the whole thing, and I hadn't had a stack. But then we get around to the last pick, which truly doesn't matter. And then I see down there the Xavier Legette there, so I'm going to take the Xavier Legette.
Oh, so he's doubling up on the Panthers. Oh, Xavier Legette. And then Jerome Ford, Pat Freiermuth, and Jalen Wright go right before my last pick. And, of course, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just going to go and value hunt a person who I think has some upside and makes me feel good. But, because I've got the position where I've already got DeAndre Swift, I feel like Roschon Johnson is just a good pickup for me at that stage. So I'm just going to go and take him. Bit of a fan of Roschon. And it's another bear that I'm taking right in front of old Kev here, which must fill in with joy.
Swift didn't break my heart, Matty, but Roschon did. He was a guy I was definitely looking at right here. So you know what? I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. And
he's going the scroll, guys. Look out. Kev's going the scroll.
You and I were talking before, and I mentioned on the Chiefs about Brashard Smith, the rookie.
Yeah.
Just basically walking into that pass-catching running back role. You think Jarrett McKinnon 2022, he had like 600 yards and 9 touchdowns. I think he's the closest thing they've got to a true pass-catching running back. So Brashard Smith's going to be my pick here now. Just a pure upside swing and a guy I like to take a flyer on.
I think Kieran said something like that about Brashard Smith too, didn't he? He said, may not make the roster, actually.
So I'll take a shot on him, man. I've just heard he might not make the roster.
But I like Kev's got some to look great so far. Zach Moss was going to take over the world and he just got released.
So I think Kieran is the place to go when it comes to running backs, deep running back theory. Mike Gesicki, Brenton Strange, Cade Otten all go in a row before Tay. You're up. Mate, who's going to be your last pick?
The real true number one rookie on the Raiders this year. I have talked this guy up about as much as anyone could. I brought him up as a complete late flyer, like as late as it gets, flyer on the wide receiver show. I don't even know if a lot of people have even heard of him, but Dante Thornton is the guy that I'm putting a stake in, taking my claim on. I've taken him in every rookie draft I've been a part of. I just love his profile. He's this guy that I just believe he fell in the draft because of measurables, and they're the guys I look for when I'm looking at a later dynasty pick. I think he actually kind of fits a bill of a guy that could turn himself into a wide receiver one. He's big, he's fast, he's got an awesome catch rate. Like he just had some reasons in the combine as to why he fell to the fourth round, and they're Puka Nakua had an amazing catch radius and did so much, but then all of a sudden fell because of his combine. And I just think these are the kind of guys I'm looking at. Jalen McMahon like that last year, and you saw a lot of flashes from his first year at Tampa. I'm just really high on this guy, and honestly, he's already starting to get buzz in camp. He's completely taken over Jack Best so far. He's looking like the wide receiver 2 behind Jacoby Myers already. I just think he's talented.
Yeah, we talked about him a bit, Taylor. He's a guy I took in a lot of rookie drafts as well. Just the same thing. He's the speedy outside guy. He's worth a shot, really. He was on my list, but I just thought I could use another running back shot, really, because outside of those first 3, it's looking a bit thin. Whereas I'm pretty confident in my wide receivers earlier in this draft.
Yeah, 100%. Romeo Dubs and Quentin Johnson, guys without hands, finish the draft. I'm just going to quickly run down. Ian, your team looks like this. Justin Jefferson was your first pick. George Kittle, James Cook, George Pickens, Baker Mayfield, Cam Scatterbo. It's likely to be the nucleus of your starting lineup, and then guys who would then either be in the flex consideration or your bench, guys like Matthew Golden, Jake Ferguson, Jaden Blue, Adam Thielen, and Jibber Leggett. How do you feel overall, just real quick?
Pretty good about it, actually. It's gotten a lot better than I thought it would have.
I think there's a lot more meat on the bone than people think there's going to be, but you've got to just be prepared to dig for upside, really, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's yes. I don't think 16 team. I can see now you can't have much of a plan going in. You really have to go on feeling, as Tay said, and reiterates points you've made in the past. Is just stake your claim on guys that you like. If you're going to go down in a screaming heap, you may as well be with players that you like to watch.
15 teams in this league aren't going to win it, so it gives you a pretty good indication that most aren't going to win. The other thing I just wanted to glean from you there too, Ian, is because you picked so close to the start, you got a really premium pick in your first round. How did you feel about the second and third round swing, knowing that you weren't going to get picks until like 29 and then about 34 on the way back the other direction? It's a long wait.
Yeah, and the Kittle pick, I think I went early thinking that us against CPUs, it was going to go on a bit of a run and I would miss out on stuff. But it turned out that I really could have waited a lot longer for tight end. So I probably could have got something a little bit better in a wide receiver room there, like a Terry McLaurin or even a Mike Evans. So, yeah, I could have done a lot better there. But that's about the only thing, though.
Yeah. My team there was Nico Collins, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, and then TJ Hawkinson. DeAndre Swift is my second running back. And then I kind of got into the creative mode of Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins. Guys named Jaden pretty much. Zach Charbonnet, JJ McCarthy, Nick Chubb, and Roshan Johnson. I think overall, I think that would be a sort of team where I'd really be looking for the guys in the lower part to just somebody show their value that then I can try and use as a trading piece and then just try and upgrade, especially in the running back. I've got Jacobs and Swift, and I feel like they'll be fine, but Charbonnet is my third. I feel like I'd probably be using anybody else to couple with him to try and upgrade along the way there, but we'd see how that roster I feel all right about. Hey, Kev, you've got Drake London, Garrett Wilson, who we know you love the shite out of, and then Alvin Kamara, who we know you back to have a pretty good season. After that, it's Tech McMillan, Caleb Johnson, Travis Etienne, Emeka Egbuka. Then into some onesies, Justin Fields, Mason Taylor, not just a onesie, a twosie, because you got Penix Jr. and then wrapped it up with Brashard Smith from Kansas City. How do you feel about that draft?
I really like it. Looking back, I kind of wonder whether I should have taken Devon Achane at instead of Drake London there, just the way the board fell. But I have a bit more conviction in Drake London this year in that Falcons offense. So it's probably the right call that I made there based on my board. But, yeah, it's a good team. I like it. And it just proves you can wait on the onesie positions in a lot of leagues this year. They're just... they're kind of spread out, especially at quarterback too. Like most of those second-year guys now, I've got a lot higher than guys that went in front of them. So,
yeah, and I think as you learn there too, so you take London because you weren't sure you would have got Achane anyway, but you certainly, if you took Achane, you wouldn't have got London. So it really was about picking which one you wanted and then building from there. And it sounds like you're pretty happy with that. Hey, Tay, I think you've been kissed on the dick by a leprechaun because have a look at the team that was right in front of you at pick 13. They waited to the 8th round before they took a running back. They had Brian Thomas, Josh Allen, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Rome Odunze, Stephon Diggs, and Ricky Pearsall before they took any running backs. And their running backs are stars like Jordan Mason, Tank Bisbee, and Rico Dowdle. Fuck me if you couldn't have got a better team to pick in front of you. How do you feel about your team, though? You've got Puka Nacua, Chase Brown, Ken Walker, DJ Moore, and then all your boys, Jacoby Myers, Brian Robinson, Darnell Mooney, J.K. Dobbins, Matt Stafford, Hunter Henry, which I thought was a super interesting tight end pick for you because you haven't sort of had a heap of nice things to say about him until this tight ends week. And then we know that you're into Deontay Thornton at the bottom. How do you feel about your team overall?
I'd jizz my pants if this was my team in Astro. I fucking love it. Like, honestly, to be fair, like, you just brought it up with all the CPUs and stuff picking. It wouldn't work out this way. Like, that bench I ended up with is just absurd in a 16-team league. There's no way it's going to be that.
They're all your boys, too. They're all your boys.
It's just like Robinson, Mooney, and Dobbins, like, to be on my bench 16-team league is kind of absurd. What I think would happen would be if I'd ran it this exact same way in a real Astro League, I would probably have less depth in my team. Like, there would have been some running backs, some wide receivers taken earlier in front of me, but I would have probably had a better chance to take quarterback and tight end, because there was all these teams taking second quarterbacks and second tight ends that they probably wouldn't have done, especially that early. To be honest, I'm fine with Stafford. I know he's sort of already coming out with, like, you know, having back kind of complaints or whatever, but I just think that he's got 3 cocks. We've already brought this up, and there was the 2
cocks everywhere.
Then I added Kyron in as maybe a little bit of a smaller cock, but I just think the fact he's got Puka and Adams, he's just set up for success. And, you know, honestly, if what Kev says is correct and Kyron takes a step back at running back with the touchdowns, that just is better for Stafford. So I actually really like him there. But I think if I'd done the strategy, I think it still would have worked out well, but I probably would have had, I guess, a little bit of a stronger tight end and quarterback, but probably a weaker bench. But with how it played out, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it's a team so full of your boys. I love that. Hey, fellas, thank you so much for spending 2 days with us here on the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Ian, especially since you've wedged G'day Gridiron in the middle. You're most of your way to a test match, mate. You're really backing it up for the AGN.
Yeah, doing the hard yards.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much, mate. We're going to have you back through in the regular season at some stage too, because all of you need to play for this little baby here who has made home at my place. It's the Starts of the Week bronzed Shaq Dick. And I actually owe me having this to a lot to do with you, with 2 weeks in a row where you just hit it out of the park in my absence late in the year. So you share a little bit of that. But, mate, we'll have you back to have another dig. You're looking forward to that through the regular season?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. We'll see if I can make an absolute meal of it once again.
It's amazing how you caught fire when you're picking for me, but when you're picking for you, it was not so
That's
great.
right.
Hey, Kev, I feel like you're going to sing a little bit of a song about how you went when you came on for Starts of the Week last year. How did that go?
Mate, I didn't lose one until I filled in for Taylor, and then I just shit in the bed. So, no, I really enjoy the segment. It's good fun to get the guests involved, and, yeah, I really enjoy it. And obviously doing the scraps team as well, bit of fun.
That was a bit of fun. Your scraps team wasn't always embarrassed either from having to pick after everybody else had drafted. It might be tougher this year because most weeks we're going to have 4 people picking and then there'll be leftovers. But, mate, I'm looking forward to having you on the show, and it looks like the next time we're going to see you, you're going to be face-to-face with the Packers fan, you poor bugger. I'm so sorry that's going to happen to you.
All I hear you saying is that you're going to let me get weird with my picks because I'm picking after 4 other people. So.
You're going to get freaky, mate. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Looking forward to having you back through. And then, Tay, mate, thank you so much for everything you bring to the podcast. And, of course, you put up with me for, I don't know, did we say 400 episodes? And yet, even in the face of that, you continue to do it. And, mate, this show is not what it is now if it's not for all your wonderful contributions and effort you put in. Thank you so much. And well done on your draft, mate.
Thanks, mate. Happy about it turned out. But just want to say a huge thank you to Kev and Ian for coming on. It's been amazing. Kev's got obviously amazing knowledge, especially in the depths of hell, basically, with all these guys that we've never heard of. And we always appreciate what Kev brings, because some of the stats he brings out are just stuff that you've probably never heard of, but they're always really, really helpful to fantasy in general. So he's a huge asset to have on. Ian is great. Obviously, G'day Gridiron's an amazing listen for anyone who hasn't, so catch that. But he brings obviously a real NFL side analysis, which really helps the fantasy side as well. So having both of these guys on has been just a huge, huge help to us with tight end week. So thanks to you boys, but thanks again, obviously, everything you do behind the scenes to keep this rolling definitely helps me, because I'm an absolute illiterate when it comes to the social media stuff and basically anything. So, mate, thank you for putting up with me too. But, yeah, boys, thanks so much for coming on. And thank you, honestly, everyone in that group chat and everyone that's been on the podcast already in this preseason, and everyone that's about to come on later. It's just been, honestly, the podcast and the whole network is just going from strength to strength this year. It's been fantastic. So thank you.
Really has. And you can probably talk to that too, just the support that we're getting from all corners with the network.
Yeah, heaps, absolutely heaps support from everybody. And it has been great. So it's, looking forward to the next couple of weeks. And then, football is officially back from this weekend with that, with the Hall of Fame game. There's not a week now without football until the end of February. So it's an amazing time. I've been waiting so long for football to be back. So
same here. And I'm looking forward to the train wreck that it is when it's mainly backups. And I don't know, did we say Trey Lance is starting that game? Jesus Christ. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Look, fellas, we're going to get out of here. Thank you again for making time to make the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show part of your day. You can find us, Aussie NFL Fantasy Show, on Instagram. You can also catch the Aussie Gridiron Network everywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you can get it. Like and subscribe and follow us everywhere. In the meantime, fellas, good luck out there and enjoy your football. We'll see you next week. Hooroo!
Tight ends and bell ends. Thank you.
Teddy Mac.
hooroo.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show, Australia's home for NFL and Australian gridiron content. Discover everything the network has to offer, including G'day Gridiron, Pastry Press, NFL, and Aussie Gridiron Today. Buy merch and win free stuff. Visit the mothership at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. Hooroo!